Peace, blessings, and love. It's your boy City TV coming back at y'all with another one. The topic I'm gonna touch on today, because I was born in 1978. You know what I'm saying? I'm 44. I'm gonna talk about the late 80s and the early 90s in the Midwest and how nowadays, the different gangs, you know what I'm saying, whether you out of Chicago, LA, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever you claim, wherever it started, how when they first really started spreading, like trying to spread and migrate throughout the whole country, how in them days it was families, almost like the Italian mob or mafia, whatever you want to call it, and how the families in some cities was keeping that shit from taking over. Because I'm from one of them cities. I'm from Cincinnati. And it's certain neighborhoods, there's certain places where none of that shit ever been able to take a foothold because of families. And I'm gonna break that down real quick. I don't want to tell my family's name on here, just, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to put my family out there, but I'm from a place called Lincoln Heights. It's considered a city inside of a city. I live in Cincinnati, but the neighborhood that I'm from is so populated. It's so many people in my neighborhood where I'm from. And it was only a 2 square mile radius. Imagine this. Something that's only a 2 square mile radius. You can call it a neighborhood, but in Cincinnati, Lincoln Heights is called the city of Lincoln Heights. You get what I'm saying? It's not called the neighborhood, it's called the city. And we got our own mayor, we got our own police force, we got our own everything. We a city inside of a city. Actually, we in the Guinness Book of World Records. You can look it up. Lincoln Heights, Ohio, in Cincinnati. We were the only 100% all black city ever in the history of the United States, ever since it was founded. We had a couple of white families try to move out there back in the day, but they got harassed and moved out. You know what I'm saying? So this is where I grew up. And I remember when a lot of Bloods and Crips would be on the run from Cali back then in the late 80s, early 90s. That's when I was first jumping off the porch. You know what I'm saying? Like getting in the streets for real, moving ounces and doing what I do, going back and forth to jail, doing time, all that. So I remember, like I said, I'm from Lincoln Heights. My family's from Lincoln Heights. And just to give you an understanding of where I'm from and why I am who I am, my great-granddaddy moved to Lincoln Heights in 1915 with my grandmother, with my great-grandmother. They moved out there together when they was 15 years old in 1915. They was together from the time they was 15 to the time they died. But anyway, when they moved to Lincoln Heights in 1915, they had 15 children. You know what I'm saying? And each one of these 15 children had about 10 children apiece. And them 10 children apiece, they was going out and marrying into the other big families, black families in Cincinnati. So the best way I can put it, nowadays, if you come to Lincoln Heights, even to this day, it's about 7 to 10 all black families. And each one of these families have all been out there since like 1915. Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you how things really ran and how the streets really was run back before all of the nonsense bled into it. So imagine this. Where I'm from, I grew up with you. My mother grew up with your mother. Our granddaddies grew up together. Our great-granddaddies grew up together. That's the neighborhood where I'm from. And not only did all of our peoples grow up together throughout all of these generations, but on top of that, how can I put it? We also done married into each other. So I got cousins that are married into this other family. And I got cousins that are married into this. So all of the families in some way or another, these big families, these huge families with like 300 cousins and 50, you know what I'm saying, aunties and all of that. All of these huge families from back in the day. Not only did we grow to be like some of the biggest families in the city, but we all married into each other. You know what I'm saying? So we all connected. So anyway, when the gangs from LA first started trying to come to Cincinnati, when the gangs from Chicago first started trying to come out here, they was getting bodied. Because, like, don't get me wrong, they was having success. They might come out here, like, they might convert 3 of my little cousins to this or to that. And 3 or 4 of my little cousins, they be trying to stand on it, like, all the way, 100%, all the way down. They my family, they my blood, so they gonna stand on what they stand on. That's how we was raised. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a family of gangsters. Like, all of my uncles was gangsters. All of my uncles did 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, and before that, they was running shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's crazy to me just for the fact that how can I put it? I remember it was a time when I ain't gonna tell which set because I don't want nobody thinking I'm being disrespectful, but they started grabbing a foothold. They had a whole lot of new recruits, and these was dudes from the actual places. I'm an OG. So back in the day, it was some Bloods and Crips coming out to the Midwest. It was some of the originators coming out here to get it going. You know what I'm saying? So it was some originators out here back in the day getting some shit going. And when the families talked, when some of the aunties and the uncles of the little cousins who was joining, when they was like, hey, we don't appreciate what's going on. When I tell you when them 7 families hooked up, they stopped all that shit. All that shit stopped. Like, it was a level of violence in the city that motherfuckers ain't never seen before. That's why people could miss me with that shit. And you could miss me trying to act like Whack 100. You could miss me trying to act like that shit run shit. That shit don't run nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's some shit out here so thorough, you motherfuckers don't even know it exists. You know what I mean? We got ancient bloodlines of gangsters. You get what I'm saying? Nicky Barnes, Bumpy Johnson, and all them dudes weren't motherfucking Bloods and Crips. And I ain't disrespecting none of the gangs. I'm just letting you know that that's not where gangster started. That is not where the term gangster and all of the gangster movements and actions started. We had been doing all of that, moving bricks of heroin, keys of coke, all of that. Like, it's been going on. You know what I'm saying? And I've witnessed it. I lived through it. You know what I'm saying? I seen all of that shit get shut down in certain places. So you youngsters need to know this, man. You know what I'm saying? It's more about your bloodline. It's more about what flows through you. You get what I'm saying? You could be from Chicago, but you might have relatives from Mississippi. You could be from LA, but you might have relatives from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain blood that flows around here that's full of warriors. And that blood is migrated to certain places. You get what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you call yourself, the name, the title you put over yourself, that ain't what make you. It's the blood that is in you. You know what I mean? But I'm going to stop it right there. I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of history. If y'all got any questions, you know what I'm saying? Just leave a comment. I'll get back to you. You know what I mean? Peace, blessings, and love.